Are the recent layoffs at Google and Amazon investable events? Hi, this is Doug Weiss, and welcome to Wise Investing. My name is Doug. I've been an investor for 40 years. In this episode, we're going to talk about the recent layoffs at Google and Amazon. In case you haven't heard, in January, Google and Amazon laid off over 10,000 workers. I was curious where these workers were laid off from, and I was surprised to find out that it was in their AI programming divisions that these people were let go. So we're talking about the engineers who help build Alexa, who help make Google more of an AI product. That's where most of these layoffs came from. Now, I thought that was very interesting because I thought both of these companies would actually be hiring more people into those divisions to help them compete with ChatGPT and help bring their products up to the current state. But I've learned that that's not the case. The problem here is something called a large language model. So as I learned, Google and YouTube and a lot of the things that Google does that are AI, as well as the stuff that Amazon does, namely Alexa and their search for their products, all of that was built on a machine learning model. So when you create these AI models, you have a lot of choices. You can either create something that's built on machine language, which means the basis for the whole program is sort of a machine learning model. In a large language model, the whole system is built on language recognition. So the basis for the whole program, the basis for the whole AI model is language recognition. And that's exactly why ChatGPT has made so many waves in the industry, because it was the first large language model AI to come along. That's really important because when you're dealing with the public, when you're dealing with people asking questions, starting with a machine learning model isn't as helpful. Machine learning is great when you're talking about turning on and off lights or helping people find the best thing to order from your stock at Amazon. But it's not good when you're having a conversation with it. And that's exactly why all of us that have ever used an Alexa or Siri have had frustration, because it just doesn't understand us. When you build something from a machine learning basis, first you have the machine learning, and then the machine learning is sort of taught language. It's sort of taught these other things. But when you have a large language model, you're actually starting with English language, and then you're building in these other commands. As an investor, this is really important, because what that tells me is Google and Amazon realized that they had to rebuild their whole system from scratch. What they're doing now is they're hiring people into their new large language model projects so that Google and Amazon will be built from the ground up with these large language model AI systems. And I think that's very significant for us investors. What this means is right now, Microsoft is completely out in front. No one right now is even coming close to what Microsoft is doing. They're already up to the 4th version of ChatGPT. Each version is better and better and better at understanding language. Google has a project called Gemini that they've been having mixed success with. There was recently kind of a big blow up at one of their premier events where they were trying to show it off. But basically, Amazon, Google, all these big companies, Facebook, all of them are spending billions of dollars trying to develop large language model AI, because all of those companies realize that the way they interact with their customer requires a large language model. So them starting off with a machine learning model has been a detriment to them. And now that ChatGPT has come along, it's opened those companies' eyes to the fact that they've got to play catch up now. All of them have to rebuild their systems from the ground up. I think programmers call these stacks. They have to rebuild their stack from the ground up so that their stack is a large language model. And that's why all of those companies are spending so much and not in the forefront of AI, because they don't have yet a usable and reliable large language model AI. As far as an investor, I believe Google, Amazon, and Facebook will all eventually have, probably within the next year, a functional and unique large language model AI to work with. But it's a long shot. And it's not guaranteed. And there has been a lot of failures along the way. Recently, Google had this very well-publicized failure when they were testing Gemini, that Gemini was just a little bit too politically correct and a little bit too woke, because that's the way the large language model AI engineers had programmed it. That's what they had it learn. And it actually was a hindrance, and it did some things that were embarrassing and actually offensive. Because of that, a lot of people think, okay, Google's not going to be able to have AI, and they're not going to be able to compete in this coming world of AI. The truth is, we don't know who the winners are going to be. But I, as an investor, would bet that Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Google, all of them can catch up to where Microsoft is. Why? Because they all have billions of dollars, because they all already had AI that was working. They just all need to have a large language model AI that's working to be seen as competitive. My guess is all of them, because they have enough money, will be able to get this done by the end of the year. But until then, I really expect all of those companies to lag the performance of Microsoft, because they're all playing catch up with what Microsoft is already doing. And Microsoft may end up being the actual leader in this when the dust settles. If Facebook can't develop AI, or if Amazon or Google can't develop their own large language model AI that's competitive in their realm with ChatGPT, then we might actually see some of these companies go away. And we all know that happens. In investing in the tech world, companies come and companies go. I mean, AOL is not here anymore. A lot of things that worked in the past don't work now. So we don't know how the shakeup is going to be, but I would bet that those companies that I just named, all of them by the end of this year will have a competitive large language model product that will allow them to continue to dominate their particular sectors, so that they'll all be good investments by the end of the year. So I would say, if you saw weakness in Google, in Facebook, in Apple, this is probably a time to buy into it, because I don't see those companies going away, and I don't see those companies giving up their dominance in their realm this easily to Microsoft. Microsoft's not going to become Facebook. Microsoft's not going to become Amazon. It's not going to become Google. It's going to try. It may find an area that it can actually do well in, but at the end of the day, I think that what those layoffs in January mean is that all of these companies are basically rebuilding themselves from the ground up to compete with Microsoft's ChatGPT in their own realm. And because of that, I think they're all going to be excellent investments this year. I hope you found this video helpful. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel.